Hey,
Hi, can you hear me?
yes, I can hear you fine.
Perfect. Let me get my screen shared already so I can have my presentation up.
God, that went fast. 15 minutes went fast.
It sure did.
We probably should have done a 30-minute break here.
That's okay. They'll have longer for lunch, so
Hmm. And see, now I'm not hearing
the static.
the static, so it could be my earphones.
Mm, let's see, I think it's
Oh,
this
I
one.
love that picture of the cochlea. Who painted that?
Me, I did.
Are you an artist too?
I'm just like, I dabble in some watercolor. I really do love it. It's a
Okay, I'm
nice hobby
seeing
of
your
mine.
outlook too. And oh my gosh, that's so beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
I think you
Yeah.
should do note cards like that.
Oh, that's a good idea. I've been thinking about opening like a little Etsy shop to make people like some stationery,
Uh-huh.
but haven't really done
I
it
would
yet.
love, but I would love like one of those to put in my office.
Ooh, I will consider that. Don't you worry.
Let me know what I owe you. I'm serious. I would like an 8 by 10 that I would frame and put in my office.
Oh, it is yours. Don't you worry. Easy
I
stuff
have
for
a
me.
and but note cards would be so awesome.
Yeah, for like kind of like stationery for people to write notes to each other. That's cute.
Absolutely.
That is cool. I just want to make sure I can open this one too, because this one is the 1 hour version for the end.
I have had a bunch of compliments about the dynamic duo and how engaging you are.
Oh,
You
that's
two women are
good.
so great.
Yay, I'm happy to hear that.
And one of my colleagues, one of my audiology colleagues here, Caitlin Kennedy, knows one of your colleagues that does vestibular at
Yes. He
Miami
actually
really
he
well.
he told me. He's like, I think Caitlin Kennedy's his name is Joshua Hepper. He told me, he's like, I think my friend Caitlin Kennedy's gonna join. I was like, he's like, she works for Cook Children's. I'm like, I'm pretty sure all of them are coming. So yep. You're able to see my screen, yes? Like my
Yes, I
PowerPoint
am.
full screen? Perfect. Perfecto. I was so happy to see Miriam's face. I know there are a lot more familiar faces for you, but Miriam was one that
No,
struck out
really,
to
this
me.
is not a big familiar audience to me.
Oh no?
No, I mean,
Oh,
Melissa Sweeney is on there, and she's on the National Hispanic Task Force with us.
yeah, I did see
She's
her
at
too. Yep.
Collier. I know a few, but this is not a big audience of people I know.
And I think
Um,
obviously like you making it known that they have to keep their screens on just obviously forces them to be engaged, but it's exactly what you're saying. If it was a live presentation, they can't be on a computer doing something else. So,
no,
mhm.
So, and I know that doesn't sound nice, but
It doesn't matter.
I don't,
It's
I don't care. I'm
yeah.
not going to count them present
No,
if
I agree.
their video's not on.
These online conferences and lectures need more like moderators like you because sometimes, these presenters put so much effort into this content and we don't want it to be as online just as much as you don't want it to be online, so it's only more of like a matter of just respect and just if you're going to be there live, you wouldn't be
Mhm.
texting on your phone on a different
Yeah,
computer. But everyone's answering the polls really promptly. It's a good suggestion that people are actually paying attention and engaged, which is nice.
yeah. So let me know when you're ready for me to open the room back up. You have two
Oh,
minutes. Let's give them 2 minutes. I want
yeah,
to,
you can open on the dot. That's fine.
well, I kind of got the idea about keeping the video on when we were investigating hosting the SOS feeding course. And
Mm,
they said that when they do it online, everyone has to,
have their
and we
video
take
on.
a, and we take a screenshot. So I know who's on and who's not. And I'm taking
Yeah.
screenshots and counting attendance that way.
Do you take screenshots like just periodically or at just one point?
I took one at the beginning. I'll take one then, and at the beginning here. And then when I get back, I've
Yeah.
already sent private chats to about 8 people whose screens are off. Their name is on there or their picture's on. I said, if your video isn't on, I'm not giving you credit.
Oh, that's good to know.
So,
Oh, one person did ask me, she's an early interventionist and an audiologist, and asked me which section she should go to. So I pretty briefed her on what like Sarah's content would be, but I did tell her that regardless of what she chooses, she'll still get a consolidated version of the other at the end of the conference. So kind of depends on what she's doing more, if she's doing more
mhm.
early intervention or audiology. So I don't know what she'll choose, but we'll see.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh-huh.
And she'll have access to the recorded lecture of the other one
Mhm.
if she chooses to go to one and not the other. Make sure these are no longer hidden.
All right. I think, what time is it?
It's
It's
15 on the dot.
10:15, so I'm going to open everything up.
Go for it.
You know, this is my picture, Chrissy, is it's just a picture. It's not actually a felt board with ghosts on it, but it looks like a felt board with
It
the
does.
ghosts
It
on
does like
it.
your backdrop. You made this backdrop for this event. It's spooky
I
season.
didn't. I used it yesterday, and I just thought I have a yellow dress on, and Lisa said it looked good. So,
It's so cute. I was thinking of getting a festive background, but these pumpkins seem to be
oh my gosh,
sufficient.
it looks great. It looks great. I wanted to introduce you to Christy Reed. She's our audiology clinical coordinator, and one of them, and then Megan Mansfield's the other one. I don't know if she's on, but Christy's right there, and
Hi,
she's going to
Christy.
monitor the chat for
Okay,
you.
great.
And also, Caitlin Kennedy is going to monitor the chat when she's in there too.
Perfect. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Becky. Caitlin had to step out for a patient.
Yeah, I know. She told me she was going to.
Okay, just wanted to make sure you knew.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no, 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 I don't want to sign. I don't want to. What? This is about to sign me out of Windows.
Uh-oh.
Wait, okay, so hold on.
Hi, Miriam.
Hi, Christy. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, Miriam.
I was telling Becky I
Hi.
recognized the familiar face from Miami.
I know it's so hard for me to be like not wanting to jump in, but I didn't want to interrupt to say hello. But it's so good. It's so good. It's so nice to see you guys.
Nice to see you too, Miriam.
And I saw you drinking your cafecito, your cortadito earlier in the little. I was like, yep, she can't do without that.
Why didn't you all serve that at the Medell thing? I would have loved that.
You know what? When I first started, I told Ray I was gonna bring
Have
him
some.
one of those cafeteras,
Hmm.
and I was like, "But if you guys are not gonna use it, forget it." I was like,
Right. You know, I'm at my mom's house because I have more space here than in my apartment, and my mom gave me the little cafecito, and I was like, put it behind the computer so it doesn't look like I'm obviously taking some. But you did catch me taking a sip, so
I recognize those cups a
those
mile
tiny little
away.
cups. It's funny.
Cafecito. That's so cute. All right. Chrissy, whenever you're ready to start.
Okay, I can give them about 2 more minutes just so we
Okay.
can start at 11:20.
Okay.
Give people a 5 more minute buffer to.
Okay. If I didn't have this background, then I have a window in my office that's in the hall, and you would get to see all the kids walking down. Or you could see my oral prints on the wall, one or the other. The ghosts are more fun.
They are very cute. I do like
I like
them.
your ghost, Becky.
Thank you. I use them because there's a little YouTube video called Five Little Ghosts, and it goes to the tune of Five Little Ducks. And so I used it in therapy with one of my 2-year-olds the other day, and in those little tissue paper ghosts that you can make. The mom had made those, so we used those. It was fun, so I just kept it. Okay, Chrissy, I'm going to set your breakout rooms up. Oh, hold on just a second.
This is my first time doing breakout rooms. I'm excited.
Okay,
Although I won't be in a breakout room, but I will be facilitating the breakout room, I suppose. All right, Becky, are we able to get started? Or do you need to, you're on mute, sorry.
I need to let one more person in the waiting room. Okay, yes, we're ready to start.
Perfect. I will get started. Hello, everybody. Again, my name is Chrissy, and we'll be talking about the culturally competent intervention and audiological management for Spanish-speaking children with hearing loss. And I hope you enjoyed the first segment. This is going to dive real deep into the nitty-gritty about just really fundamentals of the Hispanic culture and how to apply what we know culturally to the clinic. And so I really hope that you find this useful. I really encourage engagement. I am a bubbly, peppy person, and you know, if I fully respect, I see so many people, obviously your cameras are on for attendance, but I see people in the clinic at home. And so I really appreciate your undivided attention during this time. I put my heart and soul into my work. And so I really hope that you can see that through my slides, I suppose. But here goes nothing. Let's see if we can get these going. My disclosures. Obviously, many disclosures here. My unique disclosure, my role as an audiologist, I am a full-time pediatric audiologist for the University of Miami, but in the University of Miami campus, just to give you an idea, across the street we have an auditory oral program called the Debbie School, and it is funded through the Department of Health and through the Department of Education. And so part of my salary is actually from the Department of Health and Department of Education to serve as their educational audiologist, which is a unique job. I don't know how many jobs gives you like a clinical role, and then you also get to be an educational audiologist. So I've learned a lot from that position, and I'm very thankful for that opportunity. But as an audiologist, I work with largely only Spanish-speaking patients and their families, and I see patients who wear hearing aids, bone anchor devices, cochlear implants. I do everything but vestibular because we have a vestibular specialist that works with pediatrics, so I don't have to do that. If you know what I mean, for those who feel the same way about vestibular that I do. Our aims that we're going to be talking about today are language diversity. We're going to identify and understand language dispersion across the world and compare it to how that looks in the United States. I also will see how that looks in Florida, where I'm from, but also in Texas, where the majority of you all are from. We're going to talk about, we briefly covered culture, respect, and competency, but we're going to dive in and what that means and how to translate that in the clinic. We're going to talk about barriers, and then we're going to talk about the strategies to overcome those barriers, of course. I'll show you some clinical modifications that you can make, just really simple things that you can do in your clinic that are not language dependent, but are very friendly towards your Spanish-speaking families. We're going to talk about some funny kind of idioms that happen in Spanish, and when they work and when they don't work, of course. And then we have some research to show you all about the validative tools and the validation to kind of support what we're trying to say. Just like Sarah said, there's probably research that will support anything as long as you look hard enough. But I do kind of believe really strongly in the research that we're doing at our institution, because we have a gold mine, what we call a gold mine of patients, right? We have so many Spanish-speaking patients that we can get some good outcome data from and really help kind of structure how these patients are treated on the national level. And then we'll review some clinical case examples. And throughout this, I will tell you guys, please, I encourage discussion through the chat. There will be some polls that will, one of the options will be other, and the other in parentheses will say, I have enough courage to voice my other opinion via microphone. So if you guys are feeling that daring, I encourage it. But by no means are you required to do that either. I already talked about me. So we'll just skip through this. These are my two living abuelas. I love them dearly. They don't speak English. They are, my parents were also born in Cuba, but obviously so are my grandparents. And they are near and dear to me, and very much have kind of solidified the pathway as to why I do what I do. I think it's very easy as a bilingual provider to just do audiology and not necessarily have just because people are bilingual doesn't mean they have a passion for serving the Spanish speaking population. But actually my experiences at UF in my graduate program with the AUD program, they go on a humanitarian trip to Mexico every year where they screen thousands of people and give whatever intervention they can. And that really spoke near and dear to my heart about how thankful and how trusting these people were. And it was like it filled that hole in your heart that you didn't know you had. And it kind of, there's really nothing else like that but this kind of work that you do. And so that's kind of what motivated me to really just apply my audiology career into shifting it into really kind of devoting it to these families and making sure that I'm doing the best that I possibly can for these Spanish speaking families. So first poll for everybody: how often are you seeing non-English speaking families in your clinic? I think I had an idea from that first poll, but this will be a nice to kind of hone it into the audiology. Great, so about 38 of us out of the 45 have voted. 39. Data looks pretty compelling. Yeah, you're sharing that perfect. Yep. So it looks like 54% of us are seeing about 1 to 3 times a week. We're seeing some Spanish speaking patients, which is a lot. It's definitely not always, but it's definitely more than 1 to 3 a month, or rarely, although there are people who fit that category as well. I would probably qualify. My answer would be always if I could vote, but I'm a host in this endeavor here. But yeah, so this is going to really cater to everyone. Even if you've only seen one patient who speaks Spanish, I think this information can help you. Moving on, if I can get, there we go. So